Hi, this is Ed from Syvecs, and this week on Syvecs Says we're talking about the benefits of using a standalone ECU. Modern cars obviously come with pretty capable factory-fitted ECUs. Older cars, not so much. So what are the benefits of going to a standalone ECU from the factory-fitted one? Depending on the year of the car, some of these benefits apply more than others, but in particular, with a standalone ECU such as ours, you have the flexibility and insofar as the real-time updating of ECU data. A lot of early ECUs, you couldn't real-time update at all. A lot of modern cars, you need to reflash them, which will mean stopping the engine, uploading new code and restarting. Some of the earlier ECUs required expensive or complicated emulators for updating, and this is quite a laborious process. I've done quite a lot of that. So one of the big advantages of a modern ECU is its flexibility and updating in real time. Now, this comes in if you are making a change on a rolling road and you're altering your fuel or ignition tables. You can do this immediately. You can do this as the engine is running. You can do this as the engine is under load. And this is the sort of thing that's not possible on a factory ECU. In any case that I can think of that I've personally used anyway. The other advantage of an aftermarket ECU is new features that these ECUs present to you. So this can be in drive-by-wire. You can fit drive-by-wire onto a vehicle that didn't have this before. Why would you want to do that? It allows you to control engines that produce vast amounts of power with relatively little amounts of throttle movement to be more tractable, more controllable, and that means on the track you can drive them faster. Other features are things such as knock control. Many ECUs have knock control depending on their year and generation. Some are better than others, some are not even worth talking about. Syvecs' knock control is absolutely amazing, and I absolutely love it, and it works really, really well. The other additional things are extra inputs and outputs. So in some of our other videos, we talk about using extra sensors, and with these extra inputs which are available on a standalone ECU, we can configure them and use that as part of our tuning data to optimize an engine. The other things that you have on a standard ECU that don't work or don't exist except in some particularly modern limited applications is logging. An aftermarket ECU allows you to do advanced data logging, and this is very useful for reviewing data after. It's often not possible to look at it as the data is produced in front of you in real time, and it's too easy to miss things, so using data logging, as we said in another one of our videos, is a useful tool. Syvecs has particularly advanced data logging. You can select an individual channel, manifold, knock sensor, temperatures, or whatever you want, really whatever you want, and you can also select the sample rate at which these are recorded at. Obviously, the faster you record each sensor, so for example, you can log a knock sensor over 1,000 times a second, that produces a fair amount of data, so your actual overall data logging time will be reduced. Along with the extra inputs and outputs, you also have the additional features of engine protection. Engine protection goes without saying, it's a really useful thing to have. So this can take the form of on-load lean trips. So if for some reason you have a drop in fuel pressure, you can configure the ECU via reading data from a lambda sensor to either reduce boost or trip the engine or momentarily cut it so that that condition is avoided. Our ECUs allow input from other lateral force, G sensors and so on, so that if this is in a bend and you have, say, a drop in oil pressure or something, there's a fine balance between saving the engine and saving the car. If to cut power that quickly would be dangerous if you're halfway through a bend and the car's balanced nicely. So you can define these as well. Other motorsport features that you can have are things like traction control and launch control, various different launch control strategies. All these things which are available to you, but not available, or certainly not easily available, or flexible enough, or maybe even fast enough to respond on a standard ECU. And of course the traditional kind of anti-lag features that most people like if they're kind of either playing or you know, the kind of noise, pops and bangs, personally not my thing, but that people like as an aftermarket ECU. And of course then this allows you to run with the aftermarket ECU such as ours, digital systems such as digital displays, PDUs, and communicate with onboard systems which are on a car already to allow integration. So as a kind of an overview of what an aftermarket ECU such as ours can do and why you might want one, hopefully this is a kind of a quick snapshot overview of what's available and why you might want to do that. It's difficult to pin it down as one thing, but as a whole package, when it comes together, you know, it's a pretty good proposition. So if you found this video interesting, please click like. If you have any questions or think I've missed anything and want to know more, please ask below. And of course, subscribe to this channel for updates in the future.